about info objects, loading master data text and master data attributes
Right.
to info objects. And we also discussed about different tables that are generated in the backend when you create an info object and load master data to it.
Right.
And we also discussed about InfoCube, how to design an InfoCube based on what factors you should estimate your dimensions. Did we?
Yep. We touched it.
Okay, we haven't created any InfoCube.
Yep. That's what I remember.
And here, before we create a cube, now basically we require transaction data. InfoCube is always used to load transaction data at what level? Aggregated level. Basically, InfoCube aggregates the data when all characteristics are seen. When all characteristics are seen. Now, talking about date field, when do we take date as key figure? When do we take date as characteristics? Because date is available in both the objects.
Yeah.
Right? Now, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm hearing.
Okay. When you take date as a characteristic, if one record contains, let us take an example, date, trust ID, product purchased by the customer, and quantity, price. Now, in this case 1, when we consider date as a characteristic, let's say today's date 06/04 A001 and 12/3/01, quantity 10, price is 10. Now, this customer on day 2 is purchasing one more product, A0, 302, or let's say 301, 10, and now as cube is designed to store aggregated data, not such detail level data.
Okay.
What we do, we consider here date as a characteristic.
Okay.
And now, out of these two fields like month and date, I will take at the cube level only month.
Okay.
Okay. Now the
Yep.
characteristics will be, in the first case at the cube level, characteristics will be cal month, trust ID, product, quantity, price. So how does cube store? Month is 06, 301 is the product, 20, A001 is the cost ID, 301 is the product, quantity 20, revenue 20, aggregated data.
Yeah.
If I have another 4 records in the same month with the same customer ID, then all those records will be aggregated.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say on month 7, the same customer has purchased same product, and the system will store it as a debit. Now here, one character has been changed, right?
Yes.
But if you consider date as a time period, like key figure, if you consider date as a key figure,
Yeah.
then even though month changes, system will not consider it as a character because we defined it as a key figure. So in that case, in case 2, how does the system store? In case 2, system stores A001, 301 is the product, quantity 20, quantity 30, and price 30. Because we do not have an option of creating gal month as a character.
Okay.
Okay? It is
Uh-huh.
a key.
Yeah.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
This is how system stores.
Right.
The difference between considering date as a character and a key figure.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, let us design our cube. To design our cube, we need transaction data. I have some sample transaction data that is available on my system in the flat file.
Okay.
Here is the sample data I have in my flat file. Now, to load this data, I need customer ID, product group, quantity, price. In the previous case, when I am loading master data, I have created customer ID, quantity, and price as well. I'll use the same info objects for this. But I have 2 new objects, product ID and product group. Maybe product ID may contain master data. But in my case, I haven't loaded any master data for product ID yet.
Right.
Basically, it
Yep.
is always suggested to master data load first and then go for transaction data.
Okay.
Why we have to load master data first and then transaction data? Did we talk about this?
Well, if we don't do it, I think probably system might create these tables, right?
Yeah, system has already created tables. But remember, an SID table is there between master data and transaction data.
Right, right.
The SID generations will take place at the time of loading transaction data if master data is not loaded.
I'm sorry, if master data is not stored,
Not loaded.
not loaded, okay.
No.
Okay, yeah.
SID table will be generated when you load master data first. And master data is always limited. So we can put some more burden during the load process of master data, which is generating SIDs.
Right. Yeah, that is exactly true.
Yeah. But when you talk about transaction data, it is always in huge volumes. The load process is already slow. And if you generate SIDs at the same time, and the load process once again will be effective. So to avoid such performance effects, we load master data first and then transaction.
Okay.
Alright? No harm in loading transaction data first. It's only the effect of performance.
Yeah.
You can load transaction data first and then master data for our practice. But in real time in production system, always load master data first.
Okay.
Right? Now here, let me see. I have customer ID, but I am missing with two info objects here. One is product ID and product group. So I'll create those two info objects. What was the number we were placing?
Sorry, what is that, Madan?
For identification, for uniqueness, we were placing one number at the end, right?
One number. Yeah.
68, 69, 70.
Okay.
So that it is unique. Product ID. Continue. Okay, as it has come up, let's talk about this package. Basically, whatever development you do, by default, they will be under $temp. This $temp is a local package. This $temp is a local package. If you do not define your package, by default, they will be $temp.
Okay.
Whatever packages, whatever developments that you have done, if you are storing it in the local package $temp, these are not transportable.
Okay.
You cannot create a transport request for this development which are available in local package. However, during our development stages, we have a package created by basis team. By default, they will be in $temp, but still we have a package created by basis team.
Okay.
Which we can use for our storing developments.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll store it in the local package. Later, when we require it, we can change it in transport connections.
Okay.
Now my info object has been created. One more. We will talk about that when we talk about transport connections.
Sure.
Now this product ID and product group are generated. I'll go to info provider, right click on the info area, select create InfoCube, the cube, InfoCube to load transaction data. And then click on create. By default, the cube will be standard cube. And standard cube stores physical data. However, you have virtual cube, which will not store any data physically. Okay. So here the option is inactive.
But why do, so if that is the case, what do we do with the virtual cube, Madan?
See, basically, when you have data into the other system, when you have data in the other system and to create and export the data source in the other BI system. In some cases, clients have two BI systems. One is he might be using for planning and consolidation, and other one is he might be using for sales. But some cases you need to build a report which is having a data in the InfoCube which exists in system 1, and also from you have to pull the data from the cube which exists in system 2.
Okay.
Either you generate report on system 1 or system 2. You need to get the data from one system to other system, right?
Yeah.
If you are generating reports on system 2, then we create and export the data source on system 1.
Okay.
And store data physically in system 2. That is choice 1.
Okay.
And the other choice is, if you create a virtual provider in system 2, which is accessing data of system 1 cube.
Okay.
Virtual provider is also an input.
Okay.
Already you have implemented your business logics in cube 1 during the business transformations. And now it's just a copy where you don't want to store your data physically, wasting much space. Right? During the report execution time, virtual provider pulls the information from cube 1 of system 1 and gives you the report.
Okay.
But the performance is very, very badly affected with virtual providers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. It's an additional option. Basically, within the system also we use virtual providers. Like if you have data in the cube at one aggregated level, but still at the time of pulling information you want to implement more business logic,
Okay.
which you haven't implemented during transformations,
Okay.
which you can also implement during report execution on the report end, in the front end. But front end execution will affect performance badly when compared to back end execution of your business logic.
Okay.
Let's take a simple example. I have quantity and price, and I want to calculate net sales. This net sales can be calculated at the report level as well. This is a simple calculation.
Yeah.
Right? That can be done at the report level. But what if you have some of the complex calculations or some of these complex business logics need to be implemented, which are not available in the cube to get some values?
Yeah.
You can also implement those at the report level, but still your report execution slows down.
Oh, okay. So if we pull the data from the cubes and then do some calculation during the report generation, that slows down.
Query
right?
execution? Yeah.
Okay. So then obviously the solution is do all the calculations and then put it in a table?
In a cube. Mostly in a cube.
In a cube, yes, yeah, in a cube, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll discuss about that. See why we are storing such a high level data at cube level. Do we have any other option to store detail level data?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Right. So here now I'm going to design my cube where I have customer ID, product ID, and product group. Click on create. Now here, by default, cube will have 3 dimensions: data package, time, and unit. Okay. For time, you will add time characteristics like date. However, this dimension can be empty. And unit dimension can be empty. But from the 4th dimension, you require at least one key figure, and one custom dimension to create your InfoCube. So here, by default, the name of the 4th dimension will be dimension 1. If you want to change the name, right click on it, go to properties, and I'll take it as a description and customer. Or what I can do is I can directly delete the dimension 1 and then create a new dimension for customer.
Okay.
Now I want to create the 2nd dimension, which is for product.
Okay.
Create new dimension. Product. Now on my analysis I have categorized the data into 2 categories. One is for customer and the other one is for product. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Now what I'll do, click on the Info Object Catalog.
Okay.
Info Object Catalog. Double click on the CAD catalog. And now expand characteristics. Here add customer ID to customer dimension.
Okay.
And then product ID and product group to product dimension.
Okay.
So now key figures. Again same info object catalog, double click on key figures, expand key figures, quantity and revenue to the key figures. As soon as I add quantity and revenue, in the unit folder you have 0 unit and 0 currency added by default.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on what basis I am choosing my dimension? On what basis I have added customer ID and product group to another dimension called product.
Right.
At the time of designing your InfoCube, you should keep in mind that the size of the dimension table must be always less than 20% of the fact table. Have we discussed about fact tables?
Fact tables, yeah.
Okay, fine. Basically, fact tables belongs to InfoCube, and these fact tables are surrounded by dimension tables. Dimension tables of the InfoCube contains dimension IDs and associated SIDs where it has its original value of the customer ID.
Okay.
Whereas fact table contains only key figure values.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And as the dimension table is containing only characteristics, so always we should take care that each new record of the characteristic will have one dimension ID. Let's say here I have added customer ID to customer dimension.
Right.
If I have n number of customers,
Yeah.
then I will have n number of records, n number of unique customers. When I say n number of customers, it's
Yeah.
always unique, n number of unique customers. For every unique customer ID, dimension table will contain one dimension ID.
Okay. Regardless of how many transactional records are there, even if there are no transactional records, but it can have one dimensional record, right?
Not possible. See, if there is no transaction, you mean to say like when there is no records in the fact table, still dimension table contains one dimension ID. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, right.
Basically, when does a dimension ID is generated in the dimension table?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take our previous example. This A001 is the customer.
Mm-hmm.
When I load this record to the InfoCube, a dimension ID will be generated for A001. But however, master data for customer ID is already available in the system, right?
Right.
So, dimension ID will be generated only at the time of loading this record. When I load this record, I'll have customer dimension table, product dimension table, and fact table.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I load the first record, SID and DIM ID will be available in customer dimension table, which belongs to dimension ID belongs to A001. Let's say S01 is the SID and D01 is the dimension ID of A001. And this S01 contains the actual value in the master table, which is A001.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now, similarly product with the combination of product ID and product group. So it will have two SID values, SID1 and SID2 and DIM ID. Why two SID values in the product table? Product dimension? Because I have two characteristics,
Yeah, product and then product group.
Yeah. And it will have one more dimension ID, D02. Let's say D02. And the fact table will contain, let's say this is DMID 1 and this is DMID 2. The fact table will contain DMID 1, DMID 2, associated quantity, price. This happens only after record loads.
Okay.
Every table will have their values only at the same time when you load the record.
Okay.
Okay? So if there is no DMID, there is no values in the fact table. When there is no DMID, then no SID connected, and you have only master data available in the system. So dimension tables will be empty.
Okay.
But your master table is not empty.
Okay.
It already had the information of A001 and its associated SID as well.
Okay.
Only DMID is not generated. Once you load record, DMID is generated.
Okay.
If fact table is empty, that means you do not have anything in dimension tables as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
The same DMID will be utilized for A001 if he is purchasing other product.
Okay.
And the second product will have DMID 3 in product group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will have the fact table. How does the fact table store the information in that case? You will have DMID 1, which belongs to A001 customer, and DMID 3, which belongs to product P03,
Mm-hmm.
and the associated quantity. Right. And your question may be, if DMID 3 is also available and the customer has purchased a product which contains DMID 3.
Mm-hmm.
A001 customer might have purchased the product once again.
Right.
When the customer purchases the product once again, we aggregate the data. That is what the concept of InfoCube, right?
Yep.
So you will not have two records in fact table. You will have a single record. If all the characters are same, then you will have only single record.
Yeah. But the DMIDs, how the DMIDs are created, Madan, it means do we have to...
No, system auto generates it.
Okay, that's what my question is. Okay.
Okay. See here, basically when you're talking about relational data sources, you have a concept called primary keys and foreign keys, right?
Yep.
However, here, even though system shows you it as a primary key, that means it is only depending on that key to override the data or aggregate the data, that's it. System allows duplicate values, whereas in relational database, if you define a field as a primary key, then duplicate value is not allowed.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Here, system allows you.
Yep.
At least it overrides, when you talk about master data, it overrides the data.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the design of my cube is done, and we should take care that the dimension IDs being generated by the system must and should stop at one point.
Okay.
That means, let's say I have n number of product groups and n number of product IDs.
Yep.
So the maximum combination that I have for product and product group will be NCR.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 products I have and 10 product groups I have.
Yep.
Probably each product, if each product is available in each product group, so hardly I'll get 100 combinations.
Yeah.
So I'll have 100 dimension IDs generated in the system. And it is stopping at that point, no more 101 generation. If at all new product group comes in, then only you have one more record.
Yep.
When you talk about new product group coming in, then you talk about uploading new master data.
Right.
In that case, that's fine. But still, at this location, at this point, you have to consider at one point your your dimension ID generation should stop.
Okay.
Why this we need to consider, and also, let's say I have 1,000 products and 1,000 product groups.
Yep.
Can I say 1000 C 1000 is my limited dimension?
No, no. As the product groups are, as the characteristics are added, then the dimension might get changed. But whatever it is there in the master data at this point, so the dimensions are limited to the master data.
Yeah, but still, is it a right choice to create thousands and thousands records in the dimension table? You will get around, let's say, 10 lakh records, right? If each product is available in each product group, then you are going to get 10 lakh records in it.
Right.
And if the size of the dimension table is equal to the size of the fact table, which contains records, then your performance also goes down. So you should also consider the point, the size of dimension table must be less than the size of the fact table, and even that too less than 20% of the size of the fact table.
Okay, okay. Fine. So if that is the case, then you should not create a dimension table with the two characteristics like product and product group. You have to have the...
You're right. It depends. Again, here you have a limitation here. You can create a maximum of 16 dimensions, out of which 3 are predefined.
Okay.
So 13 custom dimensions you can create. However, these 13 must be more than sufficient. SAP suggests to create as many dimensions as possible so that your dimension table size is lesser.
Okay.
Instead of 10 lakh records, 1,000 product IDs and 1,000 product groups.
Okay.
If I create one more dimension for product group, separate dimension for product group, then I'll have 2,000 records only. 1,000 records in product ID dimension and 1,000 records in product group dimension.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So SAP suggests to create as many dimensions as possible, and it's up to the analysis of the BI consultant whether he want to go for these two characteristics in a single dimension or in two different dimensions. Let's say if I have just 10 product groups and 10 product IDs, then no harm in creating in single dimension.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you had the concept clear, how to analyze the dimension table.
Yep.
I'm just activating my InfoCube. And now to load data, just load data to data source and then to your InfoCube.
Yeah. Madan, let me ask you this question. So in your experience, did you come across that where more than 16 dimensions are required, or not at all?
See, basically, why this limitation is available? Why 16 dimensions are limited?
Yeah.
When you talk about the database,
Mm-hmm.
how many maximum fields that you can create in a single table?
Yeah, I mean, there are some tables that in SAP, at least in ECC, which are having some 200 plus.
Forget about SAP.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about Oracle or SQL.
Uh-huh.
How many maximum fields that you can create in a single table?
Okay.
Have you come across this question anytime?
No, not at all.
You can create a maximum of 256 fields in a single table.
Okay.
And each dimension table here can be connected to 16 SID tables.
Okay.
When I say 16 SID tables, 3 are predefined. So out of them, these 3 are by default connected to maximum of 16. And rest of them, let's count 16. 16 into 16 is 256,
Yeah.
which is limitation available here. That
Yeah.
is the reason you have an option of creating maximum of 16 dimensions. And with this, and your question is, did we come across requirement of more than 13 custom tables, right?
Yep.
In real time. See, usually the design should be in such a manner, you utilize maximum 13 available, or you need to adjust within this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of thing, if you define more than, I would say 16, then probably the performance also might go down. But just to know the things out of curiosity, when I'm asking you.
Yeah. See, we in that point probably I might have thought that question in my beginning, but at this point I always try to adjust in the available 13 dimensions.
Okay.
As a beginner of BI, I might be thinking, what if the case if I require more than 13 dimensions?
Yes, sir. That is why I asked you in your experience, not in theoretical terms. So.
Yeah. Yeah, as a BI beginner, I might be thinking of that question. What is the case if I require more than 13 dimensions?
Yeah.
Then as an experienced guy, I say if you require more than 13 dimensions, you don't have any choice. You need to adjust within the 13 dimensions.
Okay.
Right? And we come across many cases where forcefully we add more than some characters to a single dimension.
Okay.
Because we do not have choice of creating another dimension.
Yeah.
But however, during the analysis process, we cut down all the dimensions, and hardly till today we might have used around 9 or 10 dimensions hardly. We haven't gone for 13 dimension yet.
Okay.
So probably from last 4 years, if 13th dimension is not required in our analysis, so if at all any case comes in, I think we can adjust within the 13 dimensions. So hardly 10 dimensions we used.
Okay.
Based on category also we are analyzing, right? Customer into one dimension, product into another dimension, and probably location into another dimension.
Right.
So hardly 10 different categories you have in every data.
Yeah.
13 most rare, and more than 13 is again rarer. Right?
Yep.
So are you practicing? I think this is the application component created by you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to install it, but see, I mean, as I said, I tried to install this GUI and all that in my other machine. I ran into some problems, so probably I will get in touch with the support team and see how that can be resolved, and then once it is done, then I will get into the system.
Okay. And here, as we are dealing with transaction data, select it as transaction data source. Continue. DS for tran data. Just here the description home. And here extraction from local workstation. Error rows to be ignored 1. Separated with separator and separate with comma. Proposal. Close the file before you click on load example data. Load example data. Fields. Say yes. Preview. Read preview data. Active.
So how is the Bank of America project going on, Madan?
It's, I would say, a big hassle. Very big hassle. They have one BI system already implemented. And now they want to upgrade it. Before they upgrade it, they want to create a new system, and they want all the 10 years data that is available in the previous system to be copied to the new system. And you know, every day more than 1 million records are coming in. Loading those records is one hectic job, and again, loading the previous data, historical data, is again another hectic.
But Madan, when you do such a big either data transfer or load, I mean, how the data is validated? Who will validate the data?
BPC team validates it. For us in here, BPC team validates it. However, we need to create consolidation reports as well.
Okay.
To validate the data, we have 3 systems. So we need to build some consolidation reports to validate the data as well. Because client will not believe us. We say data is loaded, everything is fine. Client will not believe us.
Yes, exactly. That's what my point is.
We need to build some consolidation reports and show it to client. This is the information that is coming from your previous system, and this is the information that is coming from the new system.
Yeah.
Then only we can make client to agree, yes, what we have done is right.
Okay.
So now build the transformations between your data source and InfoCube. So here select cube as you are dealing with cube. Sorry. Source is data source, right?
Yep.
Here it is. And what is the source system?
Source system is your desktop.
No. Name of the source system that we have.
Oh.
Flat file.
Flat file. Okay. Yeah.
Flat file.
Flat
I think
file.
we have discussed about source system in the very first.
Okay.
This source system, not about the system which is providing data, but the
Okay,
connection
okay.
point. And here map accordingly. Quantity to quantity. Here I have created an object called revenue. I'm mapping it to price. Let's say I have created an object called price here. I want to calculate net sales. Then in that case, what I'll do, I'll map quantity and price to net sales info object. I'll map quantity and price to net sales info object. And then I'll create a formula in rule details. Right click on this, and here by default it is a default direct assignment, which is nothing but a mapping. And here I'll select it as a formula and define my formula here.
Okay.
Now activate your transformations. And create data transfer process. And in this case, when you are dealing with transaction data, the execution mode, you can go for delta. From data source to your target, you can go for delta.
Okay.
Why in this case? Why not in the previous case? If you observe at the data source level, right click, manage. The first column is still under warning symbol. If I take my mouse pointer onto this column, it says whatever requests which are in warning symbol, request not updated to any target using delta. That means the records which are available in this request, which are 4 records, these 4 records are not uploaded to the target. That means InfoCube or DSO, whatever you call when you deal with transaction data only. Okay. So what I'll upload using delta under extraction execution mode. I'll take it as delta.
Okay.
Update, nothing to do with update. Execute. Activate your DTP. And then execute it. In the previous case, when we were dealing with master data, we are always using full update, right?
Right.
Do you understand what is full and what is delta?
What is full and what is delta?
Yeah.
Yeah, full is like when you're bringing in the data from the source system, data source, and then the delta is once it is there in the data source, then you can use it as delta, right?
Hey, no. What is the difference actually? What does full load does and what does delta load? If the source system is supporting you delta loads, you can also go for delta loads from the source system.
Okay.
Basically, when I talk about full load, let's say I have 1000 records in the source system.
Yeah.
And I'm going for the full load. Then all these 1000 records will be loaded to my target.
Yep.
On day 2, let's say I have another 10 records in the 10 new records in the source system.
Okay.
Now on day 2, if I go for full load, then how many records I'll have in the source system?
Like 1010.
1010? It will have 2010 records. Because on day 2, the full load is pulling 1010 records.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, already 1000 records are available which are pulled on day 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is creating a duplicate of records.
Yeah. I got it.
But on day 2, if you go for delta, delta will only pull new records. That means it is going to pull only 10 records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this delta, again we have this delta as request based delta. And the second one is record based delta. We will talk about request and record based delta in next session.
Okay.
However, this is request based delta. Now, once your load process is success, now you observe, right click on the data source, go to manage. Now you see the warning symbol has changed to green.
Yeah.
And when I take my mouse pointer on this, request updated in data targets.
Okay.
So this delta process is depending upon request. The process is saying whether the records belonging to particular request are uploaded or not, but not whether the record is uploaded or not.
Okay.
There is 2 cases.
Yeah.
One is records belonging to request are uploaded to the target.
Okay.
And the second one is individual record, whether the individual record has been uploaded to the target.
Okay.
The second case is termed as if system is looking at records, whether the particular record is uploaded to the target or not, then that is termed as the record based delta.
Okay.
In the first case, all the records belonging to one request are uploaded to the target or not. If the system in this case, then it is termed as request based delta.
Okay.
Now this is request based delta because it is depending upon requests rather than records. Clear?
Yeah.
Now you have data into the InfoCube, available in the InfoCube.
Mm-hmm.
And in tomorrow's session, we will see how this data is distributed in the system.
Okay.
You have the request and select the cube, click on content. Field selection for output. Highlight all key figures. Select all characteristics. Exit. Exit. And in tomorrow's session, we will see how this data is distributed and what is this request ID that is generated in the backend once again.
Okay.
What is the topic? All this we will talk in tomorrow's session.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Any questions?
Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Madan. Hey, Madan.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I will see. I have something to do, so I may or may not have the time for tomorrow's class. But I will let these guys know tomorrow morning.
Also drop a CC to me.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I will drop you CC.
Yeah. Okay.
So that he can see it. But I will try to make the time, but see, even if I can, then it will be a little thing. So I will evaluate my schedule and then my other activities, and then I will let you and the other guys.
No problem. No problem. Drop an email. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Madan.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.